Welcome to the Comfortable in Chaos Podcast. Strangle your demons and let's go.
Y'all need Jesus!
Bodies hit the floor. Let the bodies hit the floor. Let the bodies hit the floor. Welcome to the Comfortable in Chaos Podcast. I am your host, Eric Hellberg, and we know it's fucking Friday, man. So let's rant. Glad you boys are here today, and you're like, damn, he's keyed up. What's wrong with being keyed up? The world is ablaze, and oftentimes as men, we're at a blaze inside. So let's unwrap it. There's nothing wrong with that. Resistance is futile. You think the apostles, when they were going into foreign lands with people wanting to kill them, do them harm, they went with their heads looking down as if they were doing something wrong? Or were they amped up? Let's go, man. Let's not belie our nature. And if you don't have that fighting spirit in you, as a man, which puts you in the minority, do not be lied to. Then beat your competition or the external world around you by being good at your fucking computer code. Beat a motherfucker that way. It doesn't matter. We are designed to resist. We are designed to compete. When you let that go, you die. And who's dying today? Is it the Palestinians in Gaza? Guess what? I got a photo from a buddy of mine from the West Bank yesterday. Those dudes are all at the beach. Of course, there's ladies too, wrapped up in god-awful sorts of things. The only trouble they're having right now is how to keep from sweating with all that shit they're wearing. Do not be lied to about that. We're going to return back to that caption, okay? Meanwhile, old Uncle Joe, he's on the stump, right? They titrate his methamphetamine, give him some seltzer water since he supports Israel, and they trot him out. And what does he say? We're going to be sending a message to Donald Trump. Don't be messing with women. He can't mess with the women. Male Democratic voters. How about this? Male African American Democrats. Do you trust this man? Are you friggin' kidding me? Now, I understand if you came across the Rio Grande and you were giving a serape, a bus ticket to Chicago, $5,000 and a T-Mobile phone, maybe. But you're already here and have been here. African American male Democrats. You trust this man? Who the hell is going to listen to this guy except maybe the Bridge Club and a skilled nursing facility? Are you kidding me? We know Hunter didn't. The best damn one in that family's Commander. At least he did the honorable thing. He'll bite the Secret Service right on the ass if they give him his back. We know old Dr. Jill was bilking the community college system to get that doctorate in Delaware. You trust these people? Why do you think, since we are all strong men and African American men are strong, why do you think they're looking to replace his ass? And who are they going to get? Maybe even Michelle. Now, I'm not saying she's a man. The internet has said it. But I'm saying she has some manly damn attributes. Surely you can come up with a better candidate. It won't matter. Trump's going to steamroll y'all's ass. But we know, old Trump, he ain't going to bother our men or women. Okay, right, Joe. Okay, well, cool. We know that Joe got the call last night in the wee hours. You know Joe was asleep, but we don't know who took that call. We know Hillary Clinton was back there waiting for that 2 a.m. call, except when it came to Benghazi, right? Because Barry took off to go be with Jay-Z over there in Vegas, despite the fact that the annex and the consulate were being overrun at that time. He had some partying to do. All right. But Joe got the call. Joe got the call that Israel was going to counterattack. If Israel's going to take the time to let us know, we knew that was some ineffectual bullshit. That's just some ticky-tack proportional crap that I talked about in a previous episode. Man, now that I think about it, was that prophetic? There is no proportionality in warfare should you want to win, right? It's the schoolyard bully. He punched you in the nose, and he will keep doing so and taking your lunch until maybe you punch him in the nose and he stops. In the case of Iran and Israel, they're not going to stop. So in order to make that stop, you have to bite his friggin' ear, i.e. Tyson on Holyfield, gouge him in the eye, punch him in the throat, throw him down on the ground, grab what he's carrying around and hit him in the head with it, and then the bully stops. And you only stop in warfare once the enemy ceases to persist and or resist. So we knew that was a ruse. Why did Israel do it? They had to save face. And if they called Uncle Joe about it, it was because they didn't mean to inflict any harm, because they haven't baited us in yet. Am I a supporter of Israel? I just talked about it earlier this week, and I gave you my rationale why. It's biblical. There's covenant. They were just simply wrong by, once again, they didn't let us know, right? Because we weren't involved when they decided to go ahead and missile strike the Iranian embassy in Damascus. That is Iran's sovereign territory. They knew Iran would be pissed, and they thought that we would immediately rush to their aid and go to war, just like the war hawks have been trying to get us to do for the last 30 fucking years. But thank God we had, at least at that time, some heightened mentality within the military before they all started dressing like women. Joe was putting them in there, and Barry was playing grab ass with them, and they all became yes men. That's the only thing that precluded war with Iran. And then Fox News comes on, and they are so happy to say all the Iranian nuclear sites are intact. Well, that's because they weren't targeted to even attempt to do so. And this ain't your grandma's Iran anymore. Would be all-out war. It's a war that cannot be won. Figure out another way. Let's go back to that. Remember when Navalny was assassinated? Right? Oh, in the Biden administration, they just said this was tragic. Oh, this great Ukrainian friend, he was assassinated. Putin did it. Well, he probably did. And rightfully so. He was a damn CIA operative. Anytime we express outrage over something, anytime we act like it is so sorrowful, we are knee deep in the shit that we created. Why do you think we're always talking about Ukraine? We created it. Why didn't we say a thing about that strike in Damascus? Because we had nothing to do with it. Israel acted on its own. And now we are telling them, should you choose to act, we are begging you not to. We are not going to get involved. So remember, it's called projection. Anytime we express outrage or take a stand against what has happened, it is because we did it in the first place. Let's get back to the beach. Oh yeah, the indiscriminate killing of civilians in Gaza. That's what we're being told, right? That's bullshit too. Do you think that countless Gazans, Palestinians, however you would like to describe them on the beach, more specifically known as Deir el-Balah, would be frolicking in the temperate breeze and the temperate climate this time of year and the blue waters if they were worried about the indiscriminate killing of themselves? When the IDF has some of the best trained pilots in the damn world flying our airplanes with their own integrated systems, if they were worried about something. Now, we know that war is good for business here in the U.S., but damn it, when Israel has to fight someone, typically the people they're opposing have never had it so good. And you're like, what the hell are you talking about, Eric? 244,000 tons of food have been sent into Gaza. These guys have never ate so well. Where are they getting their water from? Well, where it is expedient, Israel is bringing that in as well. But do you know who supports and provides water via their own desalinization plants? To the West Bank? Oh yeah, the oppressor Israel, so those people can sustain themselves and live like they have all these years. They're not doing it on their own. Does that sound like indiscriminate killing to you? And what does it matter? You have barbaric people with that Hamas charter who are conditioned and who have it in their blood to eradicate Israel. You don't think in the course of fighting back against Israel, typically while they're backpedaling away, right, and getting behind people, women and children, they like mortars too. You don't think 60 millimeter mortars have a high fratricide rate? You think Hamas gives one damn bit of you know what if they fire those things up and they come up short and it blows a lady in half? Are you kidding me? You don't hear any of that being accounted for, do you? Do you know about the 4,000 or 5,000 normal Gazans that would have died in the past few months? Warfare aside, just because of the conditions in living there? Now they can go elsewhere. We've had migration throughout the Middle East all over the place to the millions, but yet they are there. Maybe they have been provided for. Don't believe the lies. Now let's get back to all this bullshit stuff about you're over there and all this garb sitting there at the beach. Are you kidding me? Those damn 9/11 hijackers, before they launched their planes and had been sitting in the U.S. for God knows how long, right under the nose of the FBI. How did that happen? I don't know. Maybe that's an episode for another day. While they're looking at their pornography and boozing. But this is Islam, man. That's prohibited, isn't it? Isn't it crazy that some of the most depraved minds will wrap their women up into a mummified shroud so they can pretend to be pious? And it goes back to a conversation I just had 2 days ago. One culminated in me getting this photograph from the beach in Gaza as people are frolicking around. And we know the IDF ain't dropping bombs on them. Kind of like when Obama was president and ISIS would line up in caravans for 2 solid miles with their black flags, their Toyota Hiluxes, talking shit, smoking and joking. We have a pretty good Air Force too. That's what we call target and or troops in the open as a mortarman. But yet we never rained death on said target. So those people were free and unabated. I'm not sure why. Why would Obama do that if ISIS was our enemy? And people are on the beach at Gaza. So obviously they're not worried. They're not worried because you have some ruthless female snipers in the IDF with Ruger 1022s that know how to shoot. All right, let's put that aside. So we wrap the women up. We act like we're pious. I have a conversation with my friend the other day concerning Indian and Pakistani relations. Isn't it time to stop playing grab ass with Pakistan? Where did all the terrorists run to when we were fighting in Afghanistan? Where was bin Laden purportedly found? In Pakistan? We're going to say, well, we have to work with the ISI. Really? They only help us when it benefits them. Someone who no longer curried favor with them. So it's okay to take them out. Okay, maybe we need to go with the more technologically advanced country that used to be all one and the same under British rule, and then they all departed in 1947, and you got Pakistan, and you got India, one very much more temperate, and let them police one another. Stop coddling Pakistan, recognize India for the badass country that it is, and let them do their thing. What about all the damn bomb makers in Lahore, Pakistan? Yeah, I've worked in and around some of them fools. Some of these damn ISI boys are right here in California right now. Nah, man, don't believe the hype. You're going to wrap your women up like a damn mummy, and you're going to portend to be well behaved because of your Islamic doctrine, when really behind the scenes you are animalistically depraved. Hell, we could have saved the U.S. taxpayer trillions of dollars. If that were the case, we could have just flown over there in the Middle East and dropped some damn airline little bottles of vodka and Playboy magazines, and you guys would have fallen apart. I used to tell my brother-in-law all the time, let's get with Wolf Chili, Hormel Chili, and drop some damn pork chili bombs over there. Come home. But it's not that simple, is it? It really is just not that simple. Anytime you have people portending to be so stringently something that they are not, well, therein lies the truth. Don't look upon the appearance. It's such a facade. And typically when you have people espousing so strongly that they are one way, they are typically the other. And typically when you gain mass popularity, I'm going to go ahead and tell you there is probably something we don't know about. And or you may not be nearly as good as you would like us to think. It happens in the religious world all the time. I mean, you've got big old Hagee, big as a damn bowling ball when they roll him into his cathedral down there in San Antonio. You've got Greg Laurie over there talking about this is prophetic times because Israel threw a few ineffectual rockets into unpopulated areas to show they can tit for tat with Iran. You guys are just making money. You guys are fools and we see through you. I'm going to tell you what, I don't have the full handle on the story yet. But a lot of people love old Jocko. He's a media mainstream darling, isn't he? At one point, he was the head of Task Force Bruiser in the venerated Battle of Ramadi. I'm going to do some checking, some further checking within the SEAL community before I go any further on that. But do you think that there was ever any indiscriminate killing at our own hands in the 20-plus year global war on terror? Possibly. And that concludes my Friday rant. Until next time on the Comfortable in Chaos podcast, I bid you bon voyage, my burgeoning flock.
Until next time, like and subscribe to the Comfort